The JLP's mandate is clear. Why is the PNP still campaigning? People, welcome back to the Skywalker channel. Here is the deal. The election is over. The ballots have been cast. The people have spoken, and the mandate is clear. But instead of stepping back to reflect, instead of accepting the voice of the Jamaican people, Mark Golding is still campaigning, still provoking, still throwing words like matches into dry grass. At least that's what he was doing right up to yesterday's swearing in of Andrew Holness. So let's see if that at least registered the memo to his cranium. Let's hope that ungodly behavior would have expired yesterday, although he flip flops a lot and everything with him will keep coming back around. This isn't leadership though. This is desperation dressed up in defiance. And honestly, someone must tell the PNP that it takes a leader to lead and they have an obligation to afford the people one in opposition. Let's be clear. The Jamaica Labour Party won 35 of 63 seats. That's not a fluke. That's not a technicality. That's a democratic decision. And yet, the People's National Party continues to behave as if the campaign season never ended. They are still on the mic, still on the streets, still trying to rewrite the results with rhetoric. Here's a suggestion. If you spend too much money to try and overturn an election, the pain of losing will be 10 times worse. Yes, the pain of losing will be 10 times worse. That's why he's still on the mic. Mic check. Mic check. Uh, blood clot. So, Mark starts the post election period as if it were the pre election phase. When time gone now, he is still talking like time come and telling lies to begin campaigning with. But the people aren't buying it anymore. Even the comrades are choking on the sour taste of lies. Just days ago, Dre Stevenson, PNP's number one blogger, publicly rejected Golding's claim that Andrew Holness had to steal his seat to win. That's not just dissent, that's a defection. It's a defection from the propaganda line. When the echo chamber starts echoing back truth instead of tribalism, you know the rhetoric is collapsing. You know that Jamaica wants better. But if you are not a Jamaican, you won't feel that sentiment. That's why a people will always rather be led by one of their own, where hearts can beat together. Golding's attempt to paint wholeness as illegitimate didn't just fail, it backfired. The people know wholeness. They have seen him lead. They have watched him hold the line during storms, pandemics, and political pressure. You can't fabricate a villain when the people already know the hero. Moreover, everyone understands how wholeness' victory usually pans out in his constituency. It takes that same trajectory most of the time, and we have seen the same in other constituencies, even involving Peter Phillips. It is a timeless pattern where the candidates seem to be behind because votes from his best regions are not in as yet. How can you fool Jamaica with something the people already know? Well, we know Marky G will try anyway. He does love to lie a bit, you know. He lies. He's the author of the book of He Lies, and we all know. And what's worse, Golding's words aren't just false, they are dangerous. He makes sure to do the stuff that will incite riots, violence, hate, tribalism. He doesn't love Jamaica. He doesn't love us. He's not just campaigning, he's inciting. He's stirring up bitterness, provoking anger, and showing around accusations that could ignite unrest. This isn't just about politics anymore. It's about peace. It's about stability. It's about the soul of our democracy. Why would a true Jamaican leader, deliberately try to destroy Jamaica? Because everything that is going to hurt us, that's what he used as tactics for his personal gain in politics. If he knows that this is going to make some foreign organization turn a shoulder against Jamaica, he goes for that. He's all over the place trying to hurt, to destabilize, to create violence, to do everything that's gonna hurt us. Why? Why? In a democracy, a mandate is not just a majority, it's a message. It's the people saying, we choose this path, we trust this leader. And when the JLP won 35 seats and then swept the by elections, that message was loud and clear. The people chose progress, they chose continuity, they chose Andrew wholeness. Mm? And what did Golding choose? He chose to ignore it. He chose to ignore the voice of the people, to undermine it, to pretend it never happened. He did the same thing, choosing Britain over Jamaica and still wanting to be the Prime Minister of Jamaica. This thing is gonna blow up. Listen, this is Skywalker saying this, and of course, when I say it, this thing is going to blow up in a very serious ways. And those shadows behind Mark Golding that believe they will depend on him, well, if it's a fortune, you're gonna lose a fortune. Because this is what I'm seeing. That's what the energy is telling me. And what did Golding always choose? I ask again. What did Golding always choose? He always choose to ignore the voice of the people. That is a very, very important point. He praised the EOJ after the election. He congratulated the Prime Minister. But then, like a flip flop in a hurricane, he spun around and started telling lies. Lies about vote buying, lies about wholeness his character, lies that even his own comrades couldn't stomach. And believe me, those lies are basically him turning what they did and pointing at the JLP like a man robbed the bank and turn around and say that person robbed the bank. Because you can find how many um how many records of them doing this voter buying stuff. When there was this local election in my community, somebody tried to buy my vote and it was just a local election, right? This isn't just political immaturity, man. It's constitutional confusion. The role of the opposition is to scrutinize, not sabotage, to challenge, not to incite, to hold government accountable, not to hold the country hostage with bitterness. But Golding seems to think his job is to keep campaigning until the people change their minds. What the devil is that? That's not democracy, that's delusion. And while Golding chose words like stones, Andrew Holness is extending a hand. Someone has to man up. There has to be a man somewhere in leadership. In his post election speech, Holness didn't gloat, he didn't mock, he called for unity. He said, we must join hands not just across party lines but across communities, across generations for the common cause of Jamaica's future. That's leadership, that's maturity, that's the kind of tone that builds nations, not break them. Wholeness understands that Jamaica is bigger than any party, bigger than any personality. He knows that progress requires partnership, not provocation. And while Golding is stuck in September 3rd, Wholeness is already building September's future. Let's not forget what's at stake, Mr. September 3rd man. Jamaica has just paid off the IMF. We have crossed a threshold. We are no longer defined by debt. We are defined by destiny. This is a moment for unity. for vision, for nation building. But instead of joining hands, Mr. September, third man, is throwing fist, verbal ones, verbal fist. Yes, but fist nonetheless. And it's not meant to be verbal altogether because it's deliberately, you heard the word I said, deliberately inciting violence, blood and fire, people. Mr. September, third man. And the people are watching, they are listening, and they are rejecting the noise. Even the most loyal comrades are starting to ask, what are we really fighting for? Because when these lies start to sour in your own mouth, you know it's time to spit them out. Well, you are fighting because your leader is stuck in September 3rd. He's the Mr. September 3rd guy now. Golding's post election behavior isn't just undemocratic, it's counterproductive. It's hurting the very party he claims to lead. It's turning supporters into skeptics. It's turning unity into division. And let's be honest, this isn't new. Golding has a history of flip flopping, of praising one moment and provoking the next, of pretending to be graceful only to come back with bitterness. While Golding is openly bad mind. The people can see it, the comrades can see it, and now even Jay Stevenson sees it. So what now, Mr. September 3rd man? Will Mark Golding finally end the campaign? Will he stop showing words that could incite violence? Will he accept the mandate and start acting like a responsible opposition leader? Or will he continue down this path of provocation, hoping that chaos will do what the ballot box didn't? The choice is his, but the consequences are ours. So we have to be careful of Mr. September 3rd man. Jamaica doesn't need more slogans, it needs solutions. It doesn't need more bitterness, it needs bridges. And it doesn't need more campaigning, it needs cooperation. Andrew Holness has shown the way. He's called for unity, he's extended the hand. Now it's time for the opposition to stop shouting and start showing up because the campaign is over. The mandate is clear and the future is waiting. September 3rd is way behind us. That's it for now, people. Please remember to like up the video and subscribe to the Skywalker channel. See you in the next one.